So the Ethics Research Service that actually conducted a scientific poll of 95% statistical accuracy made the following conclusions. And I'm going to quote now. Quote, signs point to a future rise in misconduct if deliberate action is not taken. They know the prescription, and we know the prescription. Second, quote, public trust is at risk, misconduct is high, and signs point to a future rise in misconduct. That's where we're at, and that's why we need the whistleblower reforms as desperately as possible. Now you take those numbers, and imagine, if you will, you have the great honor of working in one of these national security agencies. And keep something in mind. You just got cut out of the lousy protections. The numbers are staggering, 1 in 1,000 wins. But you're at 0 in 1,000 because you don't even have a law. We're in a terrible situation. It must be fixed. Thank you very much.
Folks, the next event in our program is going to be honoring the hero of whistleblower protection in the stimulus bill in the House of Representatives, Representative Chris Van Hollen. He put the promised land in that map. It was removed on the Senate side. Mr. Van Hollen isn't quite here yet. We expect him in the next few minutes. So what I'd like to do is, we've got a program going the rest of the morning to get started on some intensive training to have effective legislative advocacy over the next few days. And what I would suggest, if it's okay, is to let Celia Wexler from Union of Concerned Scientists get started on this. And when Mr. Van Hollen arrives, we'll take an interruption and give him the recognition he's earned. Yeah, Lokesh.
What's the state of Martin Salazar?
I'm sorry? Oh,
He's in jail now.
Martin Salazar?
Yeah.
We discussed his case quite a bit yesterday at a workshop, and we're going to be working on legislative advocacy this week to help Martin Lokesh. That's one of our main goals. Before she gets started, I think everybody knows, but the Union of Concerned Scientists, along with Public Citizen, National Whistleblower Center, POGO, and GAP, is one of the core groups of the Make It Safe Coalition's campaign for the Whistleblower Protection Act. And Celia is one of the really seasoned veteran public interest lobbyists in Washington, D.C. She held that post for years at Common Cause, and I teamed up with her there when we started this almost a decade ago. Now she's doing it for the Union of Concerned Scientists, and this is one of the masters of legislative advocacy. So I think we've got a really good tutor today.
Thank you. I always start by saying, can you see me, not can you hear me? But I think I'm okay here. I lifted furniture over the weekend, and so I'm in a lot of pain. So if you see me sort of collapse on the floor, just go ahead. I want to thank all of you for coming. I mean, I think it's great to see so many people in this room, and people who are committed to taking the time to lobby today and tomorrow. I would like just a show of hands. How many in this room have lobbied a member of Congress? Oh, we've got, you don't need this. You guys know what you're doing. How many, can people stand up again of the whistleblowers in the room? Because I wanted to get a sense of that too. That's great. That's terrific. Okay. For those of you who are new to Hill lobbying, you're not new to lobbying. We lobby every day. Every time we persuade someone to do something that we don't compel them to do. we're lobbying. So you lobby your spouse, you lobby your kids to do their homework, you lobby your spouse to dump the garbage, you lobby that meter maid not to write the ticket that she's just about to put on your windshield. And every time you succeed, you know, you're a successful lobbyist. So you already have a track record, those of you who haven't lobbied, about being a good lobbyist. I think that what's very important with good lobbying is that we have a clear message and a clear ask. Now, I think our previous speakers have talked a lot about what the clear ask is. We know why we're here. We know why we're going to members. We know what our ask is. We want Congress to act this year and pass the strongest possible whistleblower protections for all federal workers who expose waste, fraud, and abuse in government. We know that the House did pass a really strong bill in 2007. We also know that the Senate has failed to agree to similar strong protections. We know that a strong bill has, as Steve, eloquently put it, and as Senator McCaskill eloquently put it, must include access to jury trials for those federal workers who don't get the satisfaction of their grievances through the administrative process. And as Steve has talked, strong whistleblower protection should apply to all federal workers, including national security workers. And we also know that in this era of incredibly restrained budgets, and when we're told every single day that we're going into a deep recession, that this is something Congress can do that has minimal costs and incredible benefits. The potential for saving billions of dollars is real, and it's something that should be part of our message. Now, all lobby meetings basically are structured the same way. You will have a team leader, and today is kind of lobbying on training wheels because we don't have a lot of formal appointments. We will do some stop and drop where you go to a member's office and you say, we're here, who's the person, excuse me, this is not supposed to happen. And you ask for the person on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee that handles these issues. And then you drop some stuff off, leave your card, and sometimes are able to get a few minutes with that person. But we will have team leaders. A team leader is going to make introductions. They're going to explain the issue in general terms. And then other participants are going to be able to talk about why they're here and why the issue is important to them. We always make sure that the staffers have time to raise concerns, ask questions. Many of the people you see are going to be people who've worked on the issue for a long time. Others are not. They're new. Even if they're on the committees that deal with whistleblower, they don't necessarily know the issue. So in many cases, there will be questions and concerns. And then there is a point in this meeting always where you formally include your ask. And what you ask is going to depend on the level of commitment that this member already has shown. A member who's a co-sponsor of whistleblower legislation is in a different place in terms of an ask than a member that's new. But there's always an ask and there's always follow-up. We have to leave, a lobby meeting is successful if you, two things happen. One, you're able to get some sort of commitment from the staffer. And it doesn't have to be, yes, my boss will do X. But it should be, I need this bit of information, and then we agree to send that bit of information. Or the commitment can be, I will take this up with my member. And then our follow-up is, that's great. When should we get back to you to see what your member thinks? So that's very important. There has to be follow-up. There has to be some sort of commitment. From a member that's already shown some commitment, we push them. You always nudge a little bit more. Can you make a floor speech on this? Senator McCaskill, I know you've said we can't get this done this year, but maybe we can. Can you talk to Senator Lieberman about this? Can you talk to Senator Akaka and make sure that they realize how urgent this need is? So you're always sort of taking them to the next level if you can. Again, politely, firmly, but again with a follow-up.